Kouri, we was rooted for you. When I say we, it could possibly be me. I was hoping that just possibly, there was just a possibility that you were set up, that it wasn't true. I didn't want to believe it was true. But digital forensics has spoken. I'm embarrassed, Kouri. I'm embarrassed. And in fact, that was my face when he started telling us everything that was on your cell phone. If you haven't been following this trial, Kouri's facing life in prison because according to the state, she took her husband's life by poisoning him. He overdosed on fentanyl, something that she apparently put in his drink. She got the drug from her housekeeper's friend of a friend. And here we are. Now, what's interesting is that this is Chris Kouri. I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He's digital forensics. And what did he do? He analyzed her cell phones because she had multiples. And he proceeded to show us a couple of things. First and foremost, Carmen, the housekeeper, even though her memory, poor thing, is fried, and I really think that she was taken advantage of by detectives, the fact of the matter is she stated how many times she had provided her with meds, different pills. It was supposed to be oxy. And the fact of the matter is, she told her, or she told the people in the courtroom, you know, the defense and the prosecution, when she was there to meet whoever she was meeting, she was texting Kouri and giving her a heads up. And then they were meeting and all this crap, right? So I'm thinking to myself, girl, you don't even remember nothing. What the hell are you talking about? I'm going to tell you. The cell phone proves that Carmen was correct. The cell phones prove that on the days that Carmen went and drove to this area, which was far away from where they lived, to meet her friend of a friend who was giving her these drugs, sure enough, the guy's cell phone shows that he's getting closer and closer. They meet, and the entire time she is texting Kouri. And then when she leaves, her and Kouri are starting to get closer and closer. Not only that, they stated that I think it was between the months of December and March, there was over 800 text messages between her and Carmen, the housekeeper, the one that she said, you know, she only got money from her because she was getting paid to clean the house. And then after Eric died, the text messages dwindled significantly, about 75%. Then let's talk about her internet searches, which she's very upset that they're even showing these internet searches. Let's talk about this. Can you delete everything on an iCloud account? Ma'am, it is 2022. Did you not know that they could retrieve? Can you delete everything off an old iPhone without actually having it? Can deleted text messages be retrieved? Can you change the password remotely of a lost cell phone? Can deleted text messages be retrieved from an iPhone? Can you change the password remotely of a lost cell phone? What do cops do when they seize electronics? It gets better. She searched Utah prison. Woman, Utah prison. Summit County District Attorney. Can cops uncover deleted messages iPhone? I guess now you know, because look at that face. How to lock my iCloud. What does a lock lost iPhone actually do? Summit County District Court. How to completely wipe an iPhone remotely. How to erase a phone data permanently with EMI number. How to permanently delete information from an iPhone. Mind you, her spelling is horrible. How to permanently delete information from an iPhone remotely. Can cops force you to do a lie detector test? What happens if you're detained but never got read Miranda rights? What are you allowed inside Utah jails? Can a mutual policy on life insurance cause of death? What the hell? We don't even know. Again, her spelling is horrible. Will life insurance pay if death certificate says pending? Death certificate says pending. Will life insurance pay? Federal Correctional Institution in Dublin, California. Luxury prisons for the rich in America. Now, ma'am, it's murder. It's not a federal crime. You don't owe taxes. Let's continue. If someone is poisoned, what does it go down on the death certificate as? What is presumed positive for naloxone? Whatever. Is naloxone similar to heroin? What is presumed positive? Can you overdose on naltrexone? Where is my location on iPhone? Furthermore, she even searched her net worth. Ma'am, what prescription is used to stop alcoholics? I have a hard time believing that she used. Are we saying that this was her searching? I'm only asking because the spelling is horrific. Like, what? I mean, I have a hard time believing she has a whole business and everything with this type of grammar. FBI analysis of electronics in an investigation. What is FBI analysis of electronics? Find My iPhone is off. Is location still correct? Can Find My iPhone work if off? Is Find My iPhone ever wrong? Can FBI find deleted messages? You needed a search for that? Man, with the amount of documentaries, you could have watched the whole day of 48 hours. They would have answered all of these questions without showing up on your cell phone. How to delete Facebook, ma'am? Find My iPhone off. Location is correct. What does FBI do with electronic for searches? Additionally, she continues looking for different stuff in relation to the FBI. He then looks up what is a white collar crime, what is considered natural manner of death, who determines cause of death on death certificate. Can cause of death be changed on death certificate? She even searches why does the FBI get involved? How long does life insurance companies take to pay? What is a lethal dose of fentanyl? What is considered a lethal dose of fentanyl? Can a matter of death be changed on a death certificate? What happens if you give Narcan to someone who doesn't need it? Is circumstance unknown in an accident? Apparently, she was concerned with the life insurance because they were taking a while to pay. This is all, from what I understand, within weeks. He passed March 4th. April is when she's doing all of these searches. She does get arrested in May. They even included a link that she has that is things you need to know about the new Utah State prison. I guess she was extremely concerned about what her conditions were going to look like, but she's been there now for 3 years. So I'm pretty sure she's now very well versed. What's crazier is the fact that they then proceed to actually pull up all of the websites that she went through. So he shares that when you do a search, it'll record what link you choose to click on. So they then went over each website that she clicked on, including the one with the Utah State Prison, showing how the old one is going to be torn down, what the new one looks like. Then the next one is FBI, why they get involved, if they can read your text messages, if deleted text messages can be retrieved, things to know. Then it goes into life insurance, the fact that, according to Google, it could take up to 90 days to pay. They literally went website by website by website of all of her searches so that we could be clear, as well as the jury, on what she actually ended up reading. It wasn't just a search and was left in limbo. Of course, the defense was not happy. In fact, when they examined him, they pretty much told him or questioned him and said, so just want to understand, can you confirm that depending on the iOS that I have, depending on, if it's a text message, etc., which I don't understand. They're talking about pictures and not the searches. Apparently that was not a priority. They did talk about it towards the end. However, kind of contradicting his information and saying that he was speculating because he didn't double check. He didn't have all these details to compare phones, etc. He said, I'm not speculating. This is the information that in fact was downloaded. There's no speculation because they use Cellbrite. In the next video, we will go into day 7. Talk to you soon.